Every Snake Eyes target reviewed. Go. Go! Ladies and gentlemen, Age of Overlord is right around the corner, and one of the biggest new cards you're going to have to look out for once that happens is this card, the original Sinful Spoils Snake Eye. This card sends another face-up card you control to the graveyard to special summon any level 1 fire monster from your hand or deck. As you can see, I have assembled every single level 1 fire monster here, even the ones that this card can't actually summon because they have some other summoning condition, but we are ignoring that right now because that's not funny. We need more content, we need more cards. We need more cards to talk about to get me more money. Kurikara Div Incarnate. So right off the bat, this card actually is not an original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye target. I believe its second effect actually, it does add a level 1 fire monster from deck to hand, but you can only use one effect per turn, so that's, I guess, an option for turn 3. So like right off the bat, even though you can't summon this with original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye, it's still like pretty good to play with original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye. I have to say the whole name of the card because the name of the card is literally just archetype. It's like fucking Beyond Two Souls. I guess we'll talk about all 3 of the intended targets together. What the fuck do they even do, by the way? I know Excel Search is a level 1 fire monster, so I guess this is also every Excel target reviewed if you're interested. And then he also sends itself and another face-up card to summon a Snake Eye from deck, or summons back one of your level 1 fires that is banished or in the graveyard. Same effect. And then Birch is like an extender, so you don't really want to summon him, but you can search him. And then he has the same effect to summon from deck, but he's a quick effect. I don't really understand Snake Eye. I don't think anyone really does. I know that they work well with some of these targets, like Jet Synchron and whatnot, so they can make shit like Baron, like, relatively easily. They can make, like, Apollo, because they have enough spam to just get 4 guys on board. It's not really that interesting. I don't really care about Snake Eye. I'm just gonna be completely candid with you. I think Snake Eye is, like, the most boring shit I've ever seen. It has such an interesting gimmick, too, right? It has, like, the potential to be like a kind of fun deck, but instead it's just like get a bunch of guys on board. One of them's a tuner, so you can make the big level 10 white lady. Ugh, the cringe ass Nene baby makes his return to the show. Flamvel baby. Cringe ass Nene Flamvel baby. You can send this card from hand to graveyard, target 1 fire monster you control, that target gains 400 attack. It's bad. I suppose it is a rekindling target. Have we seen any other rekindling targets yet? No. That's a rekindling target, already power crept, but this one's a tuner, so. Fangly the Soldier Palm. If this card is sent from the deck to your graveyard by a monster effect, you can special summon this card. Then if you control another plant monster, you can have the attack and defense of 1 monster on the field. Once per turn, if this card on the field would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can send 1 plant monster from your deck to the graveyard instead. So this card actually, I think, has seen some play in the OCG as just something you can hit off of tier mills. In TCG, we have Diabolantis the Menacing Mantis. And that can send Fangly if you want to make like an instant 9, like Power Tool Braver Dragon, like Shen, something like that. But yeah, believe it or not, this card just has already seen play as an original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye target in the OCG. Because sometimes, like if they already have the Jet Synchron and they didn't mill this yet, they just need something to summon. Let's get another tuner. TG Rocket Salamander. This is like the highest quantity of OCG cards we've had to read so far. You contribute 1 TG monster, special summon 1 TG monster with a different original name from your deck. If you control a machine TG monster, you can target 1 level 4 or lower TG monster in your graveyard, special summon in a defense position, but negate its effects. Yeah, it's no coincidence that when they were trying to salvage the charred remains of TG to make something resembling a competent deck, they just threw in a level 1 fire monster in the same set as the engine that summons any level 1 fire monster. So obviously this is a very good card for TG. What I've learned though is that it's apparently not even a 1-card combo because you still need any random TG in hand to summon off of Trident Launcher. What you can do though is if you want to do a 1-card combo with just Rocket Salamander, then your end board is Star Guardian and Overdragoner, which could quick synchro into Baron de Fleur on your opponent's turn. And that's the 1-card combo. It's so good that it's like bad, right? That's how good it is, it says bad. Squeak Knight. If this card is special summon, you can activate this effect, treat this card as a tuner this turn. Also, you can only special summon once from the extra deck for the rest of this turn. Once per turn, you can either target 1 face-up monster you control, equip this card to that target, or unequip this card and special summon it. Yeah, this card is bad because of Halka Fibrix. Like, literally just exactly because of Halka Fibrix. because it was printed while Hulk was legal. So they had to put text on it that says, if you attempt to summon Halqifibrax with this card, you lose the game. Now what they forgot to do is make it unable to make a sold, so people made a sold with this card a lot. Infernoble Knight Roland. Quick effect, you can target one face-up monster you control, equip this card from your hand to that target as an equip spell that gives it 500 attack. During the end phase of this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can add one fire warrior monster except Infernoble Knight Roland or one equip spell from your deck to your hand. So this card actually just recently topped in Mikanko at YCS Dortmund. Anyone know what the fuck they're trying to do with it? Not me. I actually cannot figure it out. Yeah, if they drew it, if they drew the Renaud, then it's just a secondary target for a sold. Me when I equip, yeah. Altergeist Paratrader. This card can attack directly. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can draw one card. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can send one Altergeist card from your hand, deck, or face-up field to the graveyard. So Altergeist kind of already has a way to combo into this. You use it to mill, like, Revitalization, which gets you an extra normal summon, usually. There's a couple other things you can kind of get with it. I think Manifestation as a graveyard effect adds something back. I don't think you would ever, like, play Diabellstar to get to Penetrator, because that would turn off your multi-faker. But maybe there is an argument you just play Snake Eye to send something you control in exchange for the Penetrator if you need to extend. That doesn't break any of the locks on multi-faker, so it might not be terrible. It's not, like, good, but Altergeist isn't good, okay? Infernoble Knight Renaud, we were just talking about you. If you control a Fire Warrior monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. If summoned this way, treat this card as a tuner. If this card is special summoned, you can target one of your Fire Warrior monsters or one of your equip spells that is banished or in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Yeah, so if you're unfamiliar with what, like, Mikanko does with this card, we have the Mikanko list open, so we might as well talk about it. What you try to do is get to Isolde, mill the Water Arabesque, summon Renaud. Renaud will immediately add back the Arabesque from graveyard. Arabesque equips to Renaud, bounces it back to hand to summon Hare. Hare will trigger searching. I actually have no idea. I don't know what you do from there. I don't really care. The point is it gets a lot of advantage rolling very quickly because you get to add back the card that you milled. Then, because you'll control a Fire Warrior, you get to summon Renaud after you bounce it. So you just get a whole bunch of bodies on board. It's Isolde. What do you want me to say? Like, it does something interesting? You are a damn fool. I don't see any reason to be summoning this with Snake Eye, but I suppose if you're already planning to use a lot of level 1 Fire Warriors in a list for some reason, then Snake Eye for Renaud will be able to get one of them back to hand. Oh, I guess you could normal, like, any level 1 Fire Warrior, send it for the cost of Snake Eye, summon Renaud, then add back what you sent for cost. There we go. Infernoid Decatron. If this card is normal or special summon, you can send one Infernoid monster from your deck to the graveyard. And if you do, increase this card's level by the level of the sent monster. And if you do that, this card's name because of that monster's original name, and replace this effect with that monster's original effect. So this card's like the heart and soul of the Infernoid strategy. This lets you not only get into rotation your Infernoids like Anunku and Deviati that have these really strong negate effects, but also just immediately get them because you get to copy those effects. It is also a tuner, so you can just mill whatever level you need for any sort of synchro line. And of course, there are new Infernoid cards on the way, so I expect the Diabellstar engine to do very well in this deck, if I had to guess. Guard Dragon Promeneses. You send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, then target one dragon monster you control. It gains 500 attack and defense until the end of the opponent's turn. If a normal monster is sent to your graveyard while this card is in the graveyard, you can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. Chat has pointed out, actually, that Dragon Shrine is specifically worded so as not to trigger this card. That's kind of funny, actually. Diabellstar and Dragon Link and the Red Eyes engine sends Driver. That's not bad. Okay, so the idea is, like, you summon this with Snake Eye, link it off with, like, Black Metal Dragon. Black Metal Dragon searches Black Meteor Dragon mills Driver to summon itself, and then this will reborn itself. I cannot deny that that is an interaction. I can't tell you you're wrong that that's a thing you could do. The amount of cards that would have to be banned for Dragon Link to be that down bad for extenders. Legendary Fire King. buttocks. I didn't say it. I didn't say it. Penis. If your monster was originally fire, is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add one Fire King spell or trap from your deck to your hand, and during the next standby phase after this card was destroyed and sent to the graveyard, add this card from the graveyard to your hand. So while the Fire King cards were being revealed, it was pretty clear that the #1 thing they needed was some sort of spell and trap searcher, because they have like a new continuous spell that, first of all, sets Island from deck, so it's both its own good card and also gets you to the only other good card that Fire King has. The other thing is that the continuous spell is how you're able to summon the Xyz monster on your opponent's turn, making it kind of like a weird, janky super factorial, if you will. I do like that it's worded in a way like if your monster that was originally fire, it's worded in such a way that I guess you could play this in some other fire deck to get access to like maybe like Onslaught of the Fire Kings if you want. Which is just weird, is they're slowly building up this like generic fire pile that I don't really know what their intention with is, if they even have one. Rekindling target. Fuck. It's not a tuner though. Cringe ass Nene baby still on top. Courageous Crimson Chevalier Bradamante. No, it's a tuner rekindling target. Damn it! Immediately after we pointed out, we actually jinxed it. You guys suck. This card is always treated as an Infernoble Knight card. Why is it not an Infernoble Knight card though? You could have just said that. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. You can discard this card, then target one warrior monster you control, equip it with one equip spell from your deck that you can equip to it. When this card, not equipped with an equip card, is destroyed by battle with an opponent's monster and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card, and if you do, equip that monster your opponent controls to this card. So the effect in hand is Durandal, gets you a copy of Durandal, and actually what it does is you discard it, and then you activate one copy of Infernoble Arms Durandal. But the second effect is actually somewhat interesting, right? Because you could summon this and then just crash it with an opponent's monster to out it in the damage step. It's like a neat little form of removal that if you use like Diabellstar, then you have a way to get to it without the normal summon. So you can kind of bait out some interaction, then you're already in the battle phase. If you bait out like an Omni Negate, you can just go evenly. I know I clown on battle effects a lot, but every now and then I see one where I'm like, that's cool. That's a lot of fun. I would consider that, especially if you're already playing this as like some sort of consistency card. Not that I imagine you need that much more consistency to find copies of Durandal. I love how normal you guys are being for this video. You guys really are doing a great job of not saying anything fucking strange when I'm trying to film a video. Infernoble Knight Astolfo. You can banish one fire warrior monster from your hand or graveyard, special summon this card from your hand, then you can make this card's level become the level of that banished monster. You can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon this banished card during your second standby phase after this effect's activation, then you can special summon one of your fire warrior monsters that is banished or in your graveyard. Another rekindling target. Many such cases. So the first effect, it's an alright extender for Infernoble. Every Infernoble Knight is just an alright extender. But it's long been said that if you resolve this second effect, you win the game. If you've gotten to that point and you're just not dead, then getting back a guy for free is with this lingering activated effect that at this point your opponent can't negate, so your guy's just coming back. That's like basically the end of the game right there, because you get back like Immortal Phoenix Gearfried. You can get back like Charles now. Jet Synchron. It's a good card. In the OCG, what they do is they send something other than the Diabellstar to summon the Jet Synchron, and then they have the 7 and the 1 to make Chaos Ruler. Chaos Ruler's banned now. Nowadays, apparently the new hotness is making Blackwing Dark Rage Dragon, because that's just Chaos Ruler, but it's like a little drunk. Can't quite get it up by itself. We can make Ass Dragon, that is true. And then we summon back Jet Synchron, make a 9, Jet Synchron summon itself back, make a 10. It don't got 200 defense though. Cringe ass Nene baby still sweet, still soloing. Infernoble Knight Richardetto. You can banish this card from your hand to graveyard, special summon one level 4 or lower fire warrior monster from your hand as a tuner. If this card is normal or special summon, you can target one level 4 or lower fire warrior monster in your graveyard. special summon it. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except warrior monsters. So this one actually somehow saw play in Rescue Ace as an alternate target to summon if you already had access to Hydrant. Because not only is it like a tuner for like the weird ass synchro plays that Rescue Ace does sometimes, but also you can use it to summon like an Airlifter or an Impulse from hand as a tuner, or to summon back one of your guys from grave to make either Baron or SP Little Knight, because it will lock you into warriors. I don't think it's amazing. I don't know that it's like better than just summoning Jet Synchron and using Jet Synchron and Turbulence to make Baron, but it is definitely an option that gets a few bodies on board that does synergize well enough. You know, it's weird how we've talked about like 4 or 5 Infernoble Knight cards already, and we have yet to so much as once talk about whether or not this card is good in Infernoble, because I feel like it isn't, right? I feel like somehow it's still probably not that good. Salamangreat Raccoon. When your Salamangreat monster is targeted for an attack by an opponent's monster, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, then target those 2 monsters that would battle. Gain life points equal to the attack of that opponent's monster. Also, your targeted monster cannot be destroyed by battle this turn. When your Salamangreat monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard while this card is in your graveyard, you can add this card. Why are there all these Salamangreat cards that gain life points? What was going on when they did that? Because they got the field spell, they got Pero, now they got this. What do they need all those life points for, huh? Boost Warrior. If you control a tuner, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. All warrior monsters you control gain 300 attack. If you just need a little boost, the Boost Warrior's coming in. Look at that hand positioning. He's ready to give you a little boost. Volcanic Rim.
I don't need it. I don't need it. I definitely don't need it.
If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can activate one of these effects, but only blah blah blah. Banish this card from your graveyard, and if you do, send 1 Volcanic monster from your deck to the graveyard except Rimfire. Banish 1 Blaze Accelerator card from your face-up field or graveyard, and if you do, place 1 Blaze Accelerator continuous spell or trap from your hand or deck face-up on your field. You can call me Jaxel One List the way I got one list for everything, but this interaction did actually do something in the OCG recently. Just using Dia Bellstar as a way to set up Blaze Accelerator early is not the worst. Gets you kind of going. Notice how this list is only on 1 rocket, because I guess the idea is Dia Bellstar is just a better way of getting your Blaze Accelerator in rotation. And also Rimfire has the option to get like Emperor into the graveyard, so you have that in rotation. Evoltile Jeff. We're gonna call him Jeff. He looks like a Jeff. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 Evolsar monster in your graveyard, special summon that target. Guys, look, we found the bad one. So we've been saying too much about these cards. Finally, we just got one that isn't good. We just got one that's just not good. I think it's great that we got a Yu-Gi-Oh card that's bad. We gotta make worse cards. That's just my opinion, though. Fucking hell. Evoltile Peter. If this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Evolsaur monster from your hand. That's not as bad as Jeff. Not very good. Flamvel Pound. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you're gonna add 1 monster with 200 defense from your deck to your hand. Now this does add cringe-ass Nene Baby to hand. That's how you know that it's good. Every Flamvel pussy target reviewed. Let's go. Winkaribo level 10. Broken. This should search as Soul Resonator. Soul Resonator is a rekindling target? What the fuck? Firecracker is a rekindling target. Shit, this is a time win con. This is Crash Poon. Somehow take less than 1,000 damage and get Firecracker. Awesome. Incredible. Jirak YOLO. You contribute this card to select 1 level. It doesn't even say target. It still says select. Select 1 level 4 lower Jirak monster in your graveyard except Jirak YOLO. Special summon that monster from the graveyard. Yes, the effect is whatever, but I guess it is interesting that this is apparently the only like dinosaur level 1 tuner. There's not even that many level 1 dinosaurs. I never really noticed that. But for a while, this was like the best thing you could summon just by banishing Misk, because Animadorn Archosaur wasn't out yet. So the best you could do was go banish Misk, summon Aolo, and then make some sort of synchro with that. Every level 1 dinosaur reviewed. We could do that in 5 seconds. Dino Wrestler Marshall Ampello. It's a Dino Wrestler, so it's bad. TG Booster Rasper. It's a TG, so it's bad. Jirak Aolo. It's a tuner and has 200 defense, so it's better than cringe-ass Nene Baby. Animadorned Archosaur is the card we're looking for. Lava Volcano Handmaiden. Now this is the problem with doing this one, is we're overlapping with a bunch of bonfire targets, so I don't really got anything new to say about this. Yeah, I don't know, they have a card that like mills 2, so you mill 2 copies of her or something, and then mill 2 more, and now you mill 4, and then you do nothing because it's lava. Many such cases. Red Potan, finally. Real discourse. You can target one Potan monster you control. Treat it as a tuner. Gentlemen, we got another card outclassing cringe-ass Nene Baby. Because he can be a tuner if you want him to be. He doesn't have to gain it through his own effect like Renaud. Or he can bestow the tuning onto another card, such as the illustrious White Potan, or Black Potan. And that's all 3 of them. If a monster is synchro summoned while you control this card, you can special summon 1 Potan monster from your hand or deck. So I guess the idea is they want you to have all 3 Potans on the field already, make one of the other ones a tuner, synchro the other 2 into like Formula Synchron or some shit, then Red Potan summon another Potan from deck, and I guess like overlay into Ensemble Rabbit or some random, I don't know. But what I find kind of interesting is, I guess you could summon this, use the Diabell Star on field with some tuner that could be your normal summon to make a level 8 Potan trigger, summon another Potan from deck, make itself a tuner, make Formula Synchron, or just to get a draw and then make Baron. That's bad. It doesn't say that he can't summon Red Potan. So you could just play like 3 Red Potan as like an engine. Why am I doing this to myself? Why do I need to... Why do I feel the need to cook with Potans? Horus's Servant. Unfortunately, I am duty bound to never read a Horus card, ever. Fire Flint Lady. This is the 6th card. This is the 6th Infernoble card. We're counting this as an Infernoble card. The 6th Infernoble card. I still do not think that the original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye is even remotely playable in Infernoble in any way, shape, or form. It's insane. How do they do this? So if you control a warrior monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can send this card from the field to the graveyard, special summon 1 level 4 or lower warrior monster from your hand, and if you do, your opponent cannot target it with card effects this turn. The best I can say is that you could go Diabell Star, set original Sinful Spoils, tribute Diabell Star, summon Fireflint Lady, then Fireflint Lady effect, tribute itself to summon Connector from hand, and now Connector gets to activate protected from like Impermanent Veiler, and that is fine. That's an okay interaction. But that is a 2-card combo of Diabell Star and the Connector already in hand. But it does preserve your normal summon also, so it's not so bad. Soaring Eagle above the searing land. If this card is sent to the graveyard for a synchro summon, you can special summon this card. Oh, that's shockingly good. You must have 3 or more lava monsters with different names in your graveyard. Oh, here's the catch. Oh, you try to rope me in. Oh, I was about to purchase this card on the internet. Almost duped me into saying a lava card was good. You're not getting me. Volcanic Shell. Once per turn, you can pay 500 life points. Add 1 Volcanic Shell from your deck to your hand. This card must be in the graveyard to activate and resolve this effect. This card is worded so funny because until you read the last line, it just reads like it's something you do with it on field. You read this at first and you're like, oh, I normal summon the shell and then I search another shell, but that's not what you do. It has to be in the graveyard. This other line says so. Like these days, you could mistake that for a hard once per turn if you're just on your first reading of it. Even though it has a soft once per turn on it, you could get tricked once again. These cards are deceivers. They're tricking us. Magistric Imagination. Am I having a stroke? Each time a spell card is activated, place a spell counter on this card. During the end phase, you can remove 3 spell counters from this card, target one of your banished spells, add 1 card with the target's name from your deck to your hand. Well, I guess I got a spell card that will banish itself for you right here if you're really that interested. This is very bad. It's far too slow. Even if it did it during the main phase, I wouldn't really be interested in it. It would be very situational. But it has the nerve to only do it during the end phase. He's saying like, no, no, no. You're passing your turn with me on the field. I am an end board card. That's the height of hubris. Red Dustin. Cannot be used as a material for a fusion, synchro, or Xyz summon. Now, they made this card before Link Monsters, so because they made another summoning mechanic, the entire Duston archetype is just fucked. They can't do it anymore. The entire gimmick is shot. While this card is face up on the field, it cannot be tributed. If this card on the field is destroyed, its controller takes 500 damage. So what you're supposed to do is give Dustons to your opponent using House Duston, and then they all, in some way, negatively impact your opponent once they have them. I guess if you wanted to summon this with Snake Eye, you could, like, Geonator, give it to your opponent, and then pop it to win in time. I severely doubt that's your best time win con. I mean, we haven't seen one so far, so maybe. Link Apple. Link Apple. Link Apple. You can reveal this card in your hand, banish face up one face down card from your extra deck, then special summon this card if the banished card was a Link monster. Otherwise, discard this card, and if you do, draw one card. So if you're unfamiliar with Link Apple, let me break it down. If you're playing a Link deck, this card is an extender. If you're playing a deck with no links, this card is Upstart Goblin. If you're playing a deck with a mixture of Link monsters and non-Link monsters in the extra deck, you have a gambling addiction. Red Mirror. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, then target one Fire Fiend type monster in your graveyard, except Red Mirror, added to your hand. If you synchro summon while this card is in your graveyard, except during the damage step or the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. First of all, every Red Mirror target go. We're seeing a lot of these. But no, the actual answer to this question is you add back Soul Resonator. At first I was like, okay, maybe, just maybe, you could play this. You could play like Diabellstar in fucking Resonator, and this could be something you summon, and then you use it as synchro material, then later in the turn you can add it back to hand, and then you just have a way to get some recursion for the Soul Resonator. But the problem then is that you can't use it during the turn it was sent to the graveyard, so it's just far, far too slow. Evoltile Mega Kyrella. Now, hold on. I know what you're thinking. Oh, it's an Evoltile, we can move on. But this Evoltile is from, like, Vrain's era or something. So they pushed the hell out of it. Because at this point, they had already realized they forgot to make a good Evoltile. You can tribute one reptile monster, then discard one card. Special summon one level 6 or lower fire dinosaur monster from your deck. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Dragon Xyz monster you control with no material. Attach up to 2 reptile and or dinosaur monsters with different names from your hand and or graveyard to that monster as material. Jaxel 1 list strikes again. Folks, Diabellstar Evoltile coming to a locals near you. Evilsaur Leos is kind of pushed as hell, because what you do is you tribute Mega Kyrella, summon Leos from deck, set Evo Singularity, which is pretty much super factorial for Evolzars, and then its effect can like mill either another copy of itself, or like if you want to play Misk or some shit like that. Diabellstar becomes a level 4 dinosaur, so you can make like Dolka or Lagia with that, and then you can use the Evo Singularity to use the card that you milled and the Mega Kyrella as material for an Evolzar Lars. So it's kind of like using Diabellstar to get 3 evil negates, 3 or 4 evil negates. That's kind of interesting, not just as like something to do in dinosaurs or in like pure evils, but also just as like a package you can play with a fuck ton of bricks, you know, just so you can do it though. And then what's most interesting, of course, is that Mega Kyrella can actually reset the materials on either of your Evolzars. Also, this can summon Misk from deck if you want it to. It can summon Misk. Have you read Misk? Rare Metalfoes Bismugear. Pendulum effect, once per turn, target one other face-up card you control, blah blah blah, set of Metalfoes. If this card on the field is destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can add one Metalfoes monster from your deck to your hand during the end phase of this turn. I think probably the only reason this card is worth mentioning is that it does kind of make Diabellstar a starter for Pendulum, because this can be a material for Beyond the Pendulum. Not super convinced that's really something you want to be playing, but it is an option. I'd be remiss not to at least mention that. And in Metal Foes specifically, later on you can use Exceed the Pendulum to add it back from extra deck to your hand to then set it to the scales and have another way to pop and get a Metal Foes spell or trap from deck. Red Nova. If a level 8 or higher dragon synchro monster is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is sent to the field to the graveyard for a synchro summon that uses 2 or more tuner monsters as material, you can special summon 1 Fire Fiend monster from your deck in defense position. Okay, now we actually gotta do that thing. Okay, this thing can summon Ultimate Obedient Fiend from deck. That's fucking crazy. This shit can summon Quakimeru Valafar from deck. That's crazy. This shit can summon Flame Ogre from deck. That's... Actually, it can't do that. It can't be special summoned. Rescue Ace Hydrant. I assume you've all heard about this card's interaction with the Diabellstar engine. Right now, this is currently seeing a fuck ton of play in the OCG as pretty much just the best deck that can play Diabellstar, right? Like, the best deck that is centralized around a level 1 fire monster and therefore just gets all this advantage from this engine that happens to summon a level 1 fire monster for free. And yeah, because they're on top, they get to try out stupid targets like Richard Detto or fuck it, why not play Mega Kyrella? Here, let's build a hypothetical Mega Kyrella Rescue Ace list right now. We can do it. We make IP. Summon Preventer. And then on the opponent's turn, go Singularity. Summon Lars. Bam. And there we go. I think this is probably the best thing we can be doing in Rescue Ace right now. Alright, so this is actually only the second one that can't be summoned by Sinful Spoil Snake Eye, but can be searched by it, so... Infernoid... Pier Mace? Infernoid Penis must be special summoned by banishing 1 Infernoid monster from your hand or graveyard, while the total levels and ranks of all effect monsters you control are 8 or lower. Cannot be special summoned by other ways. Once per turn, you can target 1 set card on the field, shuffle it into the deck. That card cannot be activated in response to this effect's activation. Once per turn during your opponent's turn, you contribute 1 monster, then target 1 card in your opponent's graveyard, banish it. This is a quick effect. So that's kind of neat. It's like back row removal. So on like turn 3, you can use the Snake Eye Engrave to search it. I feel like in most cases, you're going to use that turn 3 search on another copy of Decatron, but this could come up every once in a while. Double Resonator. 2 of them. Can you guys say 2? I'm getting worried that Curry Bandits viewers don't know what 2 is. If this card is normal or special summon, you can target 1 face-up monster on the field. That target is treated as a tuner this turn. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Fiend monster you control. That Fiend monster is treated as a tuner this turn. Oh, good old Jaxel 1 list just knows one place this card was played in the last month or so. So this is a Resonator list that found a way to actually make Hot Red Dragon King Calamity. It involves making the first Red Rising Dragon into a tuner, then making a second Red Rising Dragon so you can go into Ultimaya Zulkin. And then, this is very important, you have to get Fiendish Golem, because that will trigger Zulkin by setting it, and then later on your opponent's turn, you can use it to set Fiendish Chain from deck, trigger Zulkin again to summon Ass Dragon, and then tribute it just to get that quick synchro effect to make Hot Red Dragon King Calamity. It's just incredible the way that the deck that Hot Red Dragon King Calamity was designed for is this comically bad at making Hot Red Dragon King Calamity. If you are doing anything with Snake Eye and Resonators, you need to check yourself into some sort of psych ward. You are not well. You need to talk to somebody. Watchdog. Now, we don't say anything bad about Watchdog in this house. Even though his effect gets progressively worse as you read it, he has a little watch on his wrist. So watch out! Watchdog always puts me in a good humor. Salamangrate Mole. During your main phase, if you link summon to this turn, you can special summon this card from your hand to your zone a link monster points to. If you control no monsters, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 5 Salamangrate cards in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, then draw 2 cards. So I guess this is like a slightly better thing to summon in Salamangrate with Diabellstar. It's still not like good. It's not like it does anything on the field or has like a worthwhile graveyard effect. I mean, being able to recover after your opponent breaks your whole board is fine, but you know, it's just whatever. I do find it interesting that it's like kind of a Crusadia, but it just has a little bitty difference to make it a little bit annoying. Like, if you draw it on turn 3, you can't just plop it onto the field onto your zone of link monster points. You know, you gotta link summon first. You gotta find a way to start linking, and then you can summon him. If your opponent leaves up an Apollo zone, you can't just summon him for free. You have to be link summoning. I ain't doing shit until you prove to me that you are a link summoning deck. What is the gimmick for this set of cards? It's kind of strange, right? It's like, all of these were kind of a little bit good in their own way. They each had their own merits, except the evols. I guess that is kind of what, like, the Diabellstar engine is about, is it's not like trying to build up its own deck, it's just supporting each deck individually. Like, so what is my takeaway from this video? Buy Red Patan. Buy Red Patan. Buy Red Patan. Buy them. Just open your wallets, purchase the Patan. Purchase Potan. Purchase Potan now.